Right, this one's about dating single mothers. At first, single mothers might appear charming, funny, maybe even delightful to be around. But don't be fooled. It's a mask. You can be sure that pretty soon you'll be meeting the children. And when you do, well, suddenly you'll all be going out on dates. And of course, you'll be the one financing it all. And, oh look, while you were so enamored with her, she turned you into daddy. Not long after, she will begin to make you feel guilty for doing the things you enjoy, like going out with your friends or any other pastimes you might enjoy doing. She will pressure you into spending more time with her, and if you accept her point, suddenly all of your money is diverted to the things that she wants. Her children, her life, her desires. You are officially now her financier, her white knight, and she is going to bleed you dry of money and emotion, while at the same time, she will expect you to be goddamn grateful for the privilege. Does that sound like a fantastic deal or what? As an example, many years ago I dated a single mother with 2 children. Because she had no stereo, loved music, and I was spending a lot of time with her, I offered to lend her my stereo. After a couple of months, I was feeling pressured to move in with her. Instead, I backed off, and I spent more time alone at my place. When I told her I needed the stereo back, so that I could listen to my music, she threatened me. If I took the stereo back, she would terminate our relationship. Needless to say, it ended there and then. So you can see from this example, if she was willing to use a relationship as a weapon to manipulate me into becoming her slave. Unfortunately for her, it actually backfired. Now, the second thing you have to look at is the character. What can we deduce about the character of a single mother? Well, first, she has a child and was obviously not in a secure relationship. So why did she allow herself to become pregnant? You have to ask why she has a child. If she tells you it's an accident, then you know the statistics don't support that. The pill is 99.9% effective. The amount of accidents far exceeds the 0.1%. So the likelihood is she deliberately made the choice to have a child, regardless of suitable conditions. In a word, she's selfish. She had no consideration for the father or the child. She only considered her needs and what she wanted. Any woman who has a baby without a suitable father or a stable relationship clearly has severe impulse problems and lacks gratification control. She may also be narcissistic, in which case everything will be all about them and their needs. Their attitude is to screw the people around them and screw the consequences. Definitely too dangerous to get involved with. If she has a career and is ambitious, then her children in all likelihood will come second. That is a sign of a selfish person, a very poor quality person. You will always be questioning her motives for having a relationship with you. Since she is obviously selfish, then there must be a selfish reason for being with you. There is something in it for her. When that reason is no longer a benefit for her, you can expect to be chastened at her leisure. Do you really want that sort of person in your life? On the other hand, maybe she was just used by a player. But again, this still raises the question about the failure to be in a stable relationship before having a child, the lack of birth control, and it shows, at the very least, a bad judge of character. So what does that say about any future decisions? Next, we'll have to have a look at finances. Most single mothers will probably be broke. Children are expensive. She's probably either undereducated or uneducated, or holding qualifications that are of little use for obtaining a decent job. As such, she will not have much of an income, if any at all. This makes her more desperate due to lack of financial resources. That being the case, you can never know for sure if she actually likes you or if it's just your money she's after. Other things to consider is that single mothers are resource vampires. So if you are earning good money and they effectively have none, are you going to be willing to reduce your lifestyle to cover her and the children? Are you willing to take responsibility for the fact that she failed to take responsibility herself? Is it even fair that she should allow you to reduce your lifestyle because of her past actions? I doubt that thought will even cross her mind. So if she thinks so little of you, why bother? If she gets child support and or alimony, and you do decide to marry her, she may possibly lose that income. Again, you'll be required to pick up the slack. More financial burden for you. What happens if the father of the children loses his job and can no longer pay child support? Children still need resources, and you are the nearest wallet. You can be sure that you'll be pressured to fill in the deficit, married or not. Does this sound like a good recipe for happiness? Priorities. Single mothers have priorities. That's just the way things are. So you also have to take that into consideration. That means either her children will always come first, or if she has a career, then that will come first and the children will come second. Both of these scenarios mean that you will always come in at least second, if not lower down on her priorities in the relationship. So you will never take priority in her eyes. Then we have her emotional needs. Single mothers also tend to have a hunger for attention due to being lonely. When it comes to men, this leads to desperation for anyone to fill the gap. So her needs mean that she will lower her standards, as any man will do. She will also have emotional support from her friends, and since working women are not available during the day, in all likelihood, most of them are going to be single mothers. Women love to get ahead, but they also tend to become bitchy if their friends are doing better. So you can be sure of a lot of negative anger behind the scenes being directed towards you if the relationship is going well. And since this is our support network, eventually this will lead to conflict in the relationship. And even though you're not to blame, you will suffer the fallout. After all, they are her friends, they've got her back. A typical example of this behaviour. One of my ex-wife's best friends used to cut hair on the side. On one occasion, after getting my hair cut, she made a pass at me, and I declined her advances. On the way home, I was trying to figure out how to tell my wife her best friend had made a pass at me. I needn't have worried, though. As I walked in the door, I was verbally abused for trying to seduce her best friend. Not only did her friend ring her and lie about what had transpired, but my wife believed her 100%. That is an example of the level of commitment you will get from a woman. Even if you're married, her best friend will still rank higher than you in her eyes. Next, you're going to have to deal with problems with the children. When you get involved with a single mother, you can expect not only to have to deal with the emotional problems that she has from the breakup, but you'll also be responsible for trying to deal with her children and all the emotional fallout from the loss of their real father. If it's been a recent breakup, it's likely the children will hate you. Secretly, they have been hoping for a reconciliation. But as you are now with their mother, that hope has been dashed, and the anger and resentment will be directed at you because you are treading on the hopes of reconciliation. If the children love their mother, in their eyes you will never be able to match up to their expectations. You will never make the grade. If, on the other hand, they are angry at her for disposing of their father, then you will be perceived as some sort of failure, a loser. After all, why would you be dating their nasty mother? So you can expect no respect from them. In any case, any time you come into conflict with her children, you will find that she will usurp your authority by denying your right to dispense moral guidance. She'll be saying, "Don't tell my kids what to do." Or on the other hand, they'll deny your authority on the grounds that you're not their father, and therefore you have no right to tell them what they can or cannot do. Now you have to figure out how you fit into their life. Make no mistake, it will be your responsibility to adjust your life to fit hers. After all, she has responsibilities. She can't change everything to suit you. If you are an ambitious, career-orientated person, that may well cause a lot of conflict. Single mothers are not usually career-orientated because their children have to come first. So don't be surprised if she starts complaining you spend too much time away from her, regardless if it is work-related or not. Your career may have to suffer. Your finances definitely will. When you become involved with a single mum, you will automatically become a parent, at least as much as she allows you to authoritatively. You have no preparation time, no experience with her children. You're just thrown in at the deep end. And I have to ask, why on earth would anyone with any self-respect want to put themselves in such an impossible situation? Such a financially expensive, emotionally volatile, and potentially dangerous situation, depending on how violent her ex may be, where you would end up paying and being responsible for not just her, but another man's children. At this point, I suggest you seek the truth. If you're determined to go down the single mother route, you should at least try to garner any information about what type of person she is. Most people like to present the best possible image of themselves that will make it difficult to determine if she's genuinely interested in you or what she can get from you. If you open your eyes, you will see a lot of clues as to the true nature of this woman. If she has a lot of failed relationships, maybe because they're bad boys, then obviously she likes bad boys. So if you're a nice guy, why would she be interested in you? If, on the other hand, they were nice guys, then obviously she is the one with the bad character. So don't be surprised if she uses you and leaves you with nothing but your toothbrush. If she had an affair and blames her ex-partner for his lack of attention, not only is she still in the wrong, but attempting to divert any blame for her poor behaviour or character away from herself. And if you are the one she's having the affair with, then you already know her character. And if she does it with you, she'll do it to you. My conclusion, rather than looking at any benefits of a relationship with a single mother, you should really be looking at the negative aspects they present. There are enormous costs, both financially and emotionally, when you get involved with these single mothers. So I would say look at the alternatives. There are a lot of single women without children who are not up to their eyes in debt and probably less likely to have an angry ex-partner. Costs will be far less early on, and you'll have more time alone with them, and it will be less stressful. Of course, any MGTOW really knows that you just don't get involved with the women at all. It's just not worth the aggro. So, welcome to Mgtowpia. It's a much better place to live.